So much room for activities!
Wow, new studio. We're gonna have to take some time to get used to this. And we need this wall filling. So if you have any shirts, any rugby balls, any stash that you want to send us and you want to get featured on next week's show, by all means, send it in to us. Boom for Vintage, I need some shirts up on the wall. Max Brown, I want a signed Walsall shirt. Ollie from Level Up, I want a shirt on the wall. Firstly, I'd like to apologise. I said I would never even touch a Leinster shirt and now I've got one behind me. Yeah, so someone needs to replace that shirt quick. My name's Shanair and welcome to the All Things Rugby preview of the Rugby Championship Round 3. Well, Rassie made us wait till Thursday, but here we are. We've now got all 4 teams and we're going to be running through the 2 matches this weekend and what the teams look like. We're going to start off at Eden Park, where New Zealand are going to be putting their unbeaten record on the line as the Springboks travel over. Let's start with the away team, the world champions. There's a lot to be said about this team. Starting with number 8, former captain, Sia Khaleesi. He's back from injury and apparently Rob Dupree was meant to start but had to pull up in training, meaning Khaleesi's back in the number 8 shirt. What he doesn't have next to his name though is captain, as that will be with Jesse Krill as he partners up with D'Alanda once again in the midfield. Also returning from injury at the back is going to be Willie LaRue, coming in for his 101st game for the Boks. With Pollard in at 10 and LaRue at 15, we have no doubt the Boks are going to be kicking galore this weekend. Interestingly, after going 6-2 for a couple of games and famously going 7-1 against the All Blacks, Rassie's gone for a 5-3 split on the bench. As cover on the bench, Rassie's gone for Cobus Reinach, Sasha Feinberg and Ngomzulu, and Ethan Hooker. A weird mix to say the least, but in that back line, lots of players can change position. We've seen Jesse Krill cover on the wing, Ethan Hooker play centre and wing, and Caden Moody obviously play in the midfield as well. Although on paper, the Boks is full of experience, with over 900 caps between them, it does look like it's lacking a bit of punch up front. And where the Boks are lacking up front, the All Blacks have absolutely stacked the pack this week. Simon Parker moves to the 6 jersey, with Tupavahi jumping into the road to partner Scotty Barrett. Fabian Holland ends his streak of starts by moving onto the bench. Partnering Parker in the back row will be none other than Ardie Savea making his 100th appearance for the All Blacks and the 15th Centurion for New Zealand. And back into that number 8 jersey, none other than Wallace Satiti. The backs is where it gets a little bit interesting for the All Blacks. With a string of injuries at 9, Finlay Christie will be starting as scrum half, and hopefully making his debut off the bench will be Carl Preston. After a breakthrough season for the Crusaders this year and scoring a hat-trick on his debut, hopefully we can see what magic he can bring to this All Blacks team. In the midfield, Billy Proctor will be starting with Geordie Barrett and Quinn Tupai will be offering cover on the bench. One final change for the All Blacks as Narawai comes in to start on the wing with the likes of Sever Reece, Caleb Clark and Mike Talaia not available for selection. This is where it gets interesting. South Africa have won the last 4 games against the All Blacks, with obviously the biggest one being that World Cup final a couple of years ago. But New Zealand have won 9 of their last 11 matches against the Boks when it's been played in New Zealand, and of course, undefeated at Eden Park. One final caveat for this game, there's been a number of discipline issues for New Zealand over the last couple of rounds, and this match is famous for a couple of big yellows and red cards. The man in the middle, Carl Dixon's certainly going to have his work cut out for him this week. Before the showdown at Eden Park, we've got Argentina over in Australia. Australia welcome back captain and leader Harry Wilson, who'll be partnered in the back row with Rob Valentini and Fraser McWright, with Carlo Tizzano coming out as support off the bench. Australia are going to lack a lot of size and muscle up front, with Will Skelton returning to La Rochelle in France this week. But Tom Hooper will be stepping into the engine room to partner Nick Frost with Jeremy Williams coming off the bench. The big call that Joe Schmidt made this week though is the return of 22-year-old Tom Lynagh. James O'Connor's return to the Wallabies has had everyone excited, but we saw Tom Lynagh against the Lions did manage to pull it out the bag in Test 2 and 3. The big battle this weekend is going to be in that back row, as Argentina have named Crema, Gonzalez and Paulo Matera to lead their line. Thomas Albanos is out with injury, so Santi Carreras will be wearing the 10 shirt once again. As dangerous as that backline for Argentina can be, they're going to struggle in the second half as their bench lacks the experience with a couple of debutants coming on. Owen Farrell's replacement at Racing 92, Prisky and Telly will be coming off the bench to get his first cap, although he did make his debut against the Lions in Dublin. He'll be joined by Elizalde, who's only got 3 caps, and the scrum half Moyano with only 2. All you Harlequins fans, keep an eye on Boris Wengo, who will be coming off the bench also to make his debut for Argentina before returning to London to hopefully make his debut for Quins. The table's looking very interesting going into round 3, with all teams on 1 win each, and no doubt we'll have a lot to talk about come next week. So, whether you're having shrimp on the barbie this weekend or filling up your glass with a Clippy and Coke, make sure you stay tuned to All Things Rugby. Make sure you drop your predictions into the comments, like and subscribe, and follow us across all platforms. My name's Shanair, and this has been All Things Rugby.